Hi, I hope you are all doing well. So, today we're going to talk about Mercedes-Benz and how they were able to enter the Colombian market through exportation. So, our group is consisted by Natalia, Maria Clara, Santiago, and myself, Diego. Let's get right to it. So, the story is that Mercedes-Benz didn't start as just one company. They started as two different ones. One was called Benz and CE, and the other one was called Daimler Motors Company. The name Mercedes came up in 1901 when Daimler Motors decided to build a new car. So usually at the time all the cars had the motors put in the part of the back. What they did was they took the motor and they put it in the part of the front, which was way better because the cars started being more faster, being more reliable, more easy to control. This also set like a standard for the whole industry because all the good results, all the companies start doing the same. That's why today we have the motors in the part of the front of the cars. Then in 1926, the two companies merged because Germany was going through a difficult time regarding the First World War. The inflation was really high. They had trouble selling whatever they want to sell and whatever they want to manufacture. So the companies that were big enough and had enough resources needed to join forces with other ones in order to survive. Later on, the Second World War came. At this point, since 1926, the new name of the company was Daimler's Benz AG, and they were related to sell cars directly to Hitler. When the war grew up and Germany needed more production, more military production, they start building motors for airplanes, military airplanes, and military vehicles as a whole. After the war, everything was destroyed. They lost all of their factories because they were a primary target from the Allies. They were able to recover some of the information and some of the designs of the cars. So because Europe received a lot of money as an investment to rebuild everything, they were able to take advantage of this and the information they had, the designs, and to start building new factories all over again. But since this point they were not related to military purposes, but just to building luxury cars. And from the market point of view, usually to a market share of people with 40 years and that at the time had enough money to pay for it. They start selling all over Europe and even exporting to the US. Then on the other hand, we have the history in Colombia. They came to Colombia in the 1950s through other importer, but as a company they entered the market in the 1990s when Colombia changed a lot of its importing rules and allowed new companies to enter the market. And since then they have been growing up in Colombia as a luxury car brand. And the other thing will be that they already have over 60% of the premium sales in cars here in Colombia.
Okay guys, I'm going to talk about Mercedes-Benz factories. The Mercedes cars are sold in Colombia are manufactured in other countries, mainly the United States and Germany. This is in order to reduce cost and so that their production is not massive and is preserved as an exclusive brand since everybody can't access to these cars, luxury cars, because they are so expensive. Daimler Group has its manufacturing located in Germany. These were where some of the most important Mercedes models are manufactured and assembled. In addition of this, in Tuslacosa, United States, That is the second largest Mercedes plant outside of Germany. In Latin America, it has different car factories, some of them located in Argentina, which was the first factory to operate outside of Germany. Also in Mexico, Aguascalientes, this is an establishing factory that has an alliance with Nissan. And finally in Brazil, with a production capacity of 20,000 units per year. Now in Colombia, Daimler Group opened a factory in the town of Funza in Bogotá in 2015. This factory produces Blue Tech 5 chassis of Mercedes buses. It has production capacity of 4,000 units.
Now let's talk about German export. Not brands now forbidden from a specific country actually produce their products domestically. Trade agreements and foreign production plans allow companies such as Mercedes-Benz to be more creative when it comes to manufacturing, exporting, and competing in their respective markets. This is why certain brands look for homes beyond their national borders. In fact, the German automotive power thrives today because it is able to manufacture a greater amount of its vehicle outside of Germany. Recent figures from the world's top export portal indicate that Germany is responsible for 21.8% of all car exports. Brands such as BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, and Porsche continue to be among the favorites both for their prestige and safety. Likewise, German cars benefit from the fact that Europeans prefer cars from the same continent, which offers the advantage of selling more in developed markets and with good levels of GDP per capita. Now, Germany is on the top 10 largest exporters in the world. In the first place is China with 2.5 trillion. In the second place is United States with 1.7 trillion. And the third place is Germany with 1.6 trillion. Now let's talk about marketing strategies. Nowadays, Mercedes-Benz has a target market, a segment of people who like exclusivity and luxury, but at the same time is changing and likes diversity. So, they focus their entire marketing strategy on selling exclusive cars with class, but at the same time more fun and energetic cars for a younger audience. Thus offering a new wide line of product with more competitive and accessible price. Another variable to take into account that is on the most important is the necessity and demand for vehicles that fulfill all the quality and safe conditions given by the industry and enforced in all of the countries, which has been in the last year part of the biggest influence in the design and the line of production. In addition to this, thanks to the great competition of the luxury automotive industry and the new demands of consumers that are constantly changing, Mercedes focuses its marketing strategy on offering a great variety of automobiles and expanding its product line. This also includes buses and trucks. Regarding Colombia, we think that from the customer point of view, Mercedes has still an image of luxury rather than the other attributes. And this may be because of a later entrance of this country market compared to Europe and US, which the time condition made their production harder to acquire related to cost and times in transportation. It's not surprising that they are one of the top premium manufacturers in the whole world. First, the history that they have. Second, the quality, precision, and luxury offered since their company was created. Next to that, the investment on marketing for digital media is one of the highest, from 40 to 50% of the whole marketing budget in European countries goes to this point alone. They have been strategic on what to create and where to invest. Other marketing ideas include their Auto show across Colombia, the alliances with a strategic showroom in the principal cities of Colombia at exclusive places.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the market of the brand Mercedes-Benz here in Colombia. Mercedes-Benz is the luxury car brand that has been growing more compared to its competitors. It's right now on the list and is right now on the number one of the luxury brands that sells more in Colombia. Why is this? One of the reasons of this is that lately they have been improving in the hybrid market. You know that right now the hybrid market in Colombia is growing so much, and since the last year it has grown almost 800%, and the Mercedes lines of products is so variable, so they have a lot of hybrid cars right now to offer in Colombia, and they are not so expensive. In Colombia, Mercedes is located in the number 4 of brands that sell hybrid cars, and it's behind Kia, Toyota, and BMW. Okay, so right now in the world, and also including in Colombia, the thinking of the people is that, and the idea of the brand is that they sell luxury cars. But since the beginning, as Diego said, in the history of Mercedes-Benz, the segmentation was to only cars for old people and wealth people, and that has changed a little bit. They are nowadays they are a luxury brand, but they have a really big line of products. So you can buy the least expensive car, which is the Class A, and you can buy also the most expensive one, which are the AMG, which are the sports series of Mercedes. Right now in Colombia, the line of products that they sell more is the Class C and the Class A. These come straight from Germany, but there are some things that they change to come here to Colombia and some countries of Latin America. For example, the transmission of the cars. So when the terrains are a little bit difficult, the transmission and the gearboxes don't suffer a lot from this. So that's why Mercedes is the best choice for you if you are going to buy some of the German cars. And why is this? Because, for example, Audi and BMW don't do this, and they don't change the specifications of the car, so they sell the same cars in Europe that they sell here. So it's more common to take those cars to the dealership or to the shop to do service because the gearbox has problems or the transmission is having problems. So Mercedes has done well in this time, and I think that's why they're also the luxury car brand that is growing so fast.
Okay guys, I'm going to talk about car import process here in Colombia, obviously. After the sale is made at the dealership, the seller or the dealer contacts to the factory to define prices, delivery times, and payments in order to dispatch the car. After this process, the car must be sent documents such as homologation form, dynamic emission certificates, declaration of conformity, import registration, environmental certificate of air conditioner, and shipping documents. These documents are used by customs to begin the entire import process. In this same step, the payment of taxes and duties is made. This value varies according to the country with which it is being imported. In case as Mercedes-Benz cars arrive from Germany or the United States, the rate is, according to the Santander Bank from Germany, the tariff rate is 4.4%. And with this country, it has had a free trade agreement since 2013. For the United States, it's 0.0%. For cars of 3.0 liters. This thanks to the free trade agreement with Colombia. For the United States, the lines being producing are Class M and Class R. And then finally, we proceed to carry out all the registration process in the route.
So for the part of sales, we found two different sources of information. From the year 2017, we found in the RUNT air regulation system, RUNT, that there were sold in Colombia 2,786 cars for commercial purposes and another 46 cars for diplomatic purposes. Then most of the cars were Class C, Class CLA, and Class GLA, which are manufactured in Europe mostly. Then in January of 2020, for the luxury car market share, there were sold 892 cars. So 352 cars were sold by Mercedes, which is the biggest luxury car company here in Colombia, and its main competitor BMW with a number of 330 cars. So one of the things that allow Mercedes to be so better at selling cars, so much resourceful, so much good at it, besides marketing, besides their strategies, is that they have been able, thanks to TLCs, thanks to deals between countries, to build factories all around the world. So in this sense, they have been able to increase their distribution chain and their production chain. For example, they have factories, like my friend said, in China. They have factories here in Latin America, in the United States. So their reach is almost worldwide, as long as you have the money to pay for them and you want to pay for them.
Okay, so right now in the world, and also including in Colombia, the thinking of the people is that, and the idea of the brand is that they sell luxury cars. But since the beginning, as Diego said, in the history of Mercedes-Benz, the segmentation was to only cars for old people and wealthy people. And that has changed a little bit. They are nowadays, they are a luxury brand, but they have a really big line of products. So you can buy the least expensive car, which is the Class A, and you can buy also the most expensive one, which are the AMG, which are the like the sports series of Mercedes. Right now in Colombia, the line of products that they sell more is the Class C and the Class A. These come straight from Germany, but there are some things that they change to come here to Colombia and some countries of Latin America, for example, the transmission of the cars. So since they changed those things that I already told you, the cars doesn't have any problems here. And as for example, the Audi and the BMW cars that I have talked to people that own those type of cars, and they say that those cars are always on the shop. They are always fixing it because the roads here are simply too difficult for them.